Every summer, NBA teams are tasked with filling out their rosters for the upcoming season. Most of these spots are eaten up by guys already under contract. Then you have rookies who are due for their first deals. Then on June 30th, which is tomorrow, teams can begin negotiating with free agents leading up to July 6th when they can finally start putting ink to paper and making deals official. Most of the free agent signings we will be seeing will be guys with NBA experience. If a team needs a body, it makes sense to go after someone who has dozens to hundreds of NBA games under their belt because they want to know what to expect with what they're signing up for. But every year we do see some new guys come stateside later in their careers to give the NBA a chance, and sometimes these signings work out really well. Some examples include Bogdan Bogdanovic, who was a 25-year-old rookie, Luis Scola, a 27-year-old rookie, and even Pablo Prigioni, a 35-year-old rookie, all went on to have noteworthy careers in the league. And they and many more were discovered thanks to competing with borderline NBA talent in the top leagues like the EuroLeague, EuroCup, Australian NBL, and more recently, the Japanese B-League. But one continent that has been repeatedly overlooked in scouting non-teenage talent is Africa. Most current-day NBA players from Africa were discovered as teenagers thanks to them standing out often literally at youth basketball camps put on by the NBA or fellow African-born NBA players. But the vast majority of the basketball-interested population on the continent who aren't handpicked and flown away with millionaires have to battle for recognition in an almost impossible circuit. Thankfully, the NBA noticed this problem and decided back in 2021 to shovel money into a new annual summer tournament on the continent referred to as the Basketball Africa League. This would be an opportunity for African clubs throughout the continent to compete with one another in an organized tournament setting with NBA and international talent evaluators in attendance, thus giving basketball players who had been overlooked or forgotten a second chance at having meaningful pro careers. In this most recent NBA draft, the number 10 overall pick, Haman Malawak, was discovered in large part thanks to the fact he had competed in 3 years' worth of BAL tournaments as a teenager, peaking in the summer of 2024 with the Uganda City Oilers averaging 19 points, 14 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game as a 17-year-old. Today, I thought it would be fun to talk about 3 guys who stood out the most in this most recent 2025 BAL campaign. These are players from Africa who have never set foot on an NBA court. Mostly semi-pros who have stuck with the sport of basketball as a passion and are desperately trying to get on the radar of not just an NBA team, but any high-level pro team. And perhaps this summer, we may get to see them get their chance. Before we get started, please do me a big favor and like the video as it helps me out far more than I think you guys realize. Consider becoming a channel member if you want to support these videos directly, and subscribe for more basketball-related content. I am trying to hit 1 million subscribers before the NBA Summer League comes to an end, so let's make that happen. We're going to start off with a bang today. Jacques Boissy is a 25-year-old 6'even" point guard born and raised in Senegal. As a teenager, he enrolled at the NBA Basketball Academy in Senegal, where he was able to get a high school education and further develop his game with the goal being to get a scholarship and compete in the NCAA. But like most of his peers, this just never materialized. It is very tough to get noticed as an undersized guard in a country so far away, competing amongst such unknown talent. It is not a coincidence that most African-born NBA players are 7 feet or taller. After graduating high school, Boissy briefly enrolled in a local college before opting to leave and begin a career playing semi-professional basketball throughout the continent. Over the next 6 years, Boissy never gave up his dream and further developed on the court, becoming one of Africa's best perimeter defensive players. He competed in Rwanda, Senegal, the Spanish third tier, the French third tier, and Burundi before ending up this past summer with Al Ahly Tripoli of Libya. Now at 25 years old, the Senegalese point guard competed in his 3rd BAL summer tournament, and he looked like a monster. I would compare him to a Dennis Schroeder with a lights-out jump shot. His defense has continued to improve as his strength and basketball IQ have risen with age. His 2.3 steals per game ranked him 3rd best in the tournament. And his offensive game also showed refinement, as his once awful three-point shot that had limited his success in Europe fell at a stellar 43% clip on 8 tries a game. This helped him average 18 points per game, which ranked second in the tournament. He was the star on his team and led Tripoli to their first ever BAL championship, taking home the MVP award in the process. Boissy has NBA speed, quick hands, good strength, sky-high confidence, and reads the game exceptionally well. It is shocking to me that he has not gotten a chance in any premier domestic league in Europe up to this point. It would be really cool to see him get an NBA Summer League roster spot this summer, but at the very least, we should get to see him compete this summer in Afrobasket 2025 with his Senegalese national team. They will be real threats to win it all this year. The next player I wanted to talk about today is Pieter Prinsloo, a 33-year-old 6'10" power forward from South Africa. Prinsloo has had an interesting basketball career, as growing up in Pretoria to an Afrikaans family, he naturally mostly played cricket and rugby. But when he moved to the United States in high school, he began playing basketball. But he was not remarkable. Though he landed an NCAA Division I scholarship thanks to his size, he really did not accomplish very much. Competing with mid-major Marist University from 2011 through 2014, he never averaged more than 2 points and 2 rebounds per game coming off their bench. He looked like someone who was not destined for a career playing basketball. But he stuck with it and grinded his way through some very low-level semi-professional leagues you've probably never heard of. He competed in El Salvador, Nicaragua, Bolivia, Tunisia, the Spanish third tier, Nigeria, Mozambique, then Chile, before winding up back in South Africa with the Cape Town Tigers, the first team he would stick around with for multiple summers, and where he got his first opportunity in the BAL. Due to financial reasons though, Cape Town ended up folding their team, so he resumed his career back in Chile before returning to South Africa once more, this time to compete with Johannesburg MBB, which stands for Made by Basketball. The now 33-year-old Prinsloo just had the best season of his career on record. With Johannesburg, Prinsloo bullied the opposition on the post like we have seen him do for the last decade. But what impressed me the most was his superb outside shooting well beyond the NBA three-point line. Prinsloo knocked down 39% of his 5 3-point tries a game to help him average a BAL career high of 13 points per game to go along with 6 rebounds and an assist. Prinsloo is not the bounciest or fastest forward you're going to find in the BAL. In fact, he's probably one of the least, but his skill set has been extremely impressive and is useful in the pro circuit. Though I would not bet on an NBA invite coming his way, I do believe he is due for an opportunity at a higher pro-level team in either Europe, Asia, or Australia. I have been keeping an eye on this guy for a while, and I really want to see him get that opportunity. And for the final guy we're going to talk about today, I wanted to share with you Aliou Diarra, a 6'9", 23-year-old center from Mali. Somehow, Diarra has evaded NBA and European radars for a few years now, but when you watch him play, he really stands out for his physical tools and high defensive IQ. Diarra has spent his entire brief career thus far competing within Africa, specifically his home nation of Mali, followed by Morocco, and most recently Rwanda. In each of the past 3 BALs, he has been named to their all-defensive first team. Despite being a tad bit short for a center, he makes up for it with his extremely long arms and terrific leaping ability. His rim protection really has been second to none on the continent for a while now. This past tournament, his 3.3 blocks per game led the league by a wide margin, and his 4.7 stocks per game showcased he was not just a big body who needed to sit around the rim. He moves his feet very well out to the perimeter and back to the paint, defending 1 through 5 excellently. He also was the league's leading rebounder at nearly 12 a night, and his 17 points per game ranked him 5th in the tournament. Honestly, in the American basketball system where athleticism and potential are as hyped up as they are, it has been astounding to me that Diarra has remained unknown for as long as he has been. He really reminds me of a Bismack Biyombo type out there. But he is still just 23 years old, the same age as many NBA rookies. Diarra surely will get an opportunity sometime soon with a professional club in a higher league. It has to happen. So there you have it, 3 BAL 2025 players who I believe have earned the right to compete with a higher level professional team. And especially with Jacques Boissy, I want to see him compete in the NBA Summer League now. This is a guy who NBA teams should know. If he is not competing in at least the Euro Cup, NBL, or G League next season, then there is something seriously wrong with those league scouting departments. Thank you guys for watching the video all the way up to the end. Please let me know your thoughts on these players down below, and also let me know some other players from Africa that I have overlooked. I really do enjoy following and watching international professional leagues, so if you have any names that you want to share with me, please do so and I'll check them out. Like the video if you have not already, subscribe for more basketball related content. I will see you all next time.